Good morning, students. Today's topic is integrated rate law for first order reaction. How will you derive the equation? Suppose this is the first order reaction when the reactant change into product. In the first order reaction, the concentration of reactant, that is 1. Then the rate of this equation is minus d r by dt is proportional to concentration of reactant, that is 1. This is the equation. To remove the proportionality sign, minus dr by dt is equal to k into my concentration of reactant. After that, this dt goes to this side and r comes here. Minus dr by r is equal to k dt. Now integrating this equation on both sides. After integration, this expression come here, minus ln r is equal to k, dt integration is t plus c. C is the integration constant. Now when t is equal to 0, then r becomes r naught. Putting this value in equation number 1, minus ln r naught is equal to, if t is 0, k also becomes 0, then 0 plus c. Here the value of c is minus ln r naught. Putting the value of c in the equation number 1, here you will put here minus ln r is equal to kt minus ln r naught. Now negative sign goes to this side, minus kt plus ln r naught. Here we find out kt. Kt comes here is equal to ln r naught by r, because this goes to this side and having a minus sign, and ln a minus ln b, that is equal to ln a by b. So this one ln r naught by r. Negative negative positive. If we change the ln to the log to the base 10, then it is multiplied by 2.303, means kt is equal to 2.303 log of r naught by r. So by the help of this formula, we can easily calculate the rate constant k and easily calculate the time for the first order reaction. So this formula is very important for the numericals. Now log of r naught by r is equal to kt divided by 2.303. Then after we can calculate the value of t. T is equal to 2.303 by k log of r naught by r. So this is the formula of first order reaction. Now we plot the graph log of r naught by r versus time. So this is y is equal to mx plus c. This is taken as x-axis, means time, and on y-axis we take log of r naught by r. Then slope is k by 2.303 303. Then the slope is slope is equal to k by 2.303. Then this is a straight line graph is formed. Now, how will you calculate the half-life period for a first order reaction? Half-life means it is the time in which the concentration of reactants is reduced to half of its original value. Suppose when T is equal to T half and R is equal to R naught by 2, means the concentration is also half to its original. R naught means initial concentration of reactant. Now this putting this value in this equations, T half is equal to 2.303 by K log of R naught divided by, here putting the value of R is equal to R naught by 2. After that, after calculating this expression R naught, this is becomes 1. T half is equal to 2.303 by K log of 2. Here the value of log of 2 is 0.3010. Putting this value of log of 2 in this formula, after putting this value here, T half is equal to 2.303 by K into 0.3010. Then T half is equal to 0.693 upon K. This is the formula of half-life period of first order reaction. Now for the first order reaction, we observe that T half is independent of initial concentration. It depends only on rate constant but independent of initial concentration, because in this formula there is no concentration term is involved. Now the next topic is integrated rate equation for a gaseous system in the case of first order reaction. Suppose a first order reaction in gaseous form, that is A is converted into B plus C. Then suppose Pi is the initial pressure of A and Pt is the total pressure at time t, and Pa is the partial pressure of A. Then suppose at time t is equal to 0, then the initial pressure of B is also 0 and C is also 0, but reactant having some pressure, that is the initial pressure, that is Pi. But at time t is equal to T, at time t, if the X atmospheric pressure, that is a decrease in the pressure of A at time t, and 1 mole each of B and C is being formed, then the increase in pressure of B and C will also be X. This is also X, this is also X, or this is P initial minus X, means the decrease in pressure of A at time t. Then total pressure is equal to Pt is equal to Pi minus X plus X plus X. Then X cancel out, after that Pi plus X is left. After calculating, X is equal to Pt minus Pi. Pt is the total pressure at time t and Pi is the initial pressure of A. Putting the value of x, this value of x in this equation, the partial pressure of A means PA is the partial pressure of A is equal to Pi minus x. This is the equation. Putting the value of x here, Pi minus Pt minus Pi. After Pi minus Pt minus minus plus Pi, it means plus Pi means 2Pi minus Pt is left. This is the partial pressure of A. Putting the value of the partial pressure of A in the first order reaction, K is equal to 2.303 by T log of P initial means initial pressure of A divided by total pressure of A, means Pi here and Pa becomes 2Pi minus Pt, 2Pi minus Pt. So this is the formula of integrated first order reaction for a gaseous system. So this formula is applied only in the case of numericals. If the pressure is given in numericals, we can use this formula. Now the next topic is pseudo-unimolecular reaction. The reaction which appear to be of higher order but actually it follow only first order reaction. Means we can say that a reaction which is not truly of first order but under the certain condition the reaction becomes first order. So this is called as pseudo-unimolecular reaction. Here we take one example. Inversion of cane sugar or hydrolysis of ester. In hydrolysis of ester, this is ester, it reacts with water which is present in excess, and in presence of dilute acid it will convert it into acetic acid plus alcohol, methanol. So the rate is equal to K dash. Rate depend on the concentration of reactant, that is ester and water both, but K dash and concentration of water, that is equal to K. K means constant, means concentration of water remains almost constant. Then rate is equal to K into the concentration of ester. So it depends only on concentration of reactant, only one reactant, not two reactant. So this reaction appears to be of higher order because it is made up of two reactant, but actually this reaction follow only first order because it depends only the concentration of one reactant. Now the next example is hydrolysis of sugar. This is also a bimolecular reaction, means it is made up of two molecules, but it is actually of first order reaction because the concentration of water is very large and it does not change because the water present in excess form. So concentration of water remains constant. It changes into glucose and fructose, means when the sucrose react with water on hydrolysis it will change into glucose and fructose. So the rate is equal to K dash depend on the concentration of sucrose and water. So the K is means K dash water, that is equal to K, means constant. The concentration of water remains almost constant till the end of the reaction because water is taken in excess form. So the rate is equal to K into concentration of sucrose. So in both the reaction water is taken in excess form, so it remains constant. So these both the reactions are bimolecular, but actually it is a follow first order reaction. So this is called as pseudo unimolecular reaction. Now the next topic is temperature dependence of the rate of reaction. How the rate of reaction depend on the temperature? Means temperature coefficient. What do you mean by temperature coefficient? It is the ratio of rate constant of a reaction at two temperature differing by 10 degrees Celsius. One temperature is T plus 10 degrees Celsius and another is at temperature T. This is called as temperature coefficient. So for most of the reactions, temperature coefficient lies between the 2 and 3. Now next is collision theory. Collision theory states that for a reactions to occur, there must be collisions between the reactant molecules. Means when the reactant molecules collides with each other, then there is some collisions takes place. So these collisions must be effective or ineffective, that depend on the reactions conditions. Now first we will discuss the collision frequency. It is denoted by Z. Collision frequency means the total number of collisions per unit volume per unit time. These collisions takes place at room temperature. Suppose a room that is made up of molecules, and the reactant molecules that collide each other. So here the total number of collisions that takes place per second per unit volume, this is called as collision frequency. Now next is effective collision. Means a high number of collisions takes place, then reactions become slow. This is because all the collisions are not effective. There are two factors which decide whether a collision will be effective or not. Now what do you mean by effective collisions? The collisions which after reacting it leads to the formation of product molecule. Now the rate of reaction is equal to F into Z. F is the friction of collision and Z is the collision frequency. So these are the effective collision. But this depends on the two factors. These factors decides the collision will be effective or not. So these are the two factors. First is energy barrier, second is orientation barrier. What do you mean by energy barrier? Energy barrier means the amount of energy required by the reactant to carry out a particular reaction. This minimum energy is called as threshold energy. It is denoted by ET. Means we can see that if the reactant molecule at the time of collision have total energy greater or equal to the threshold energy, then the collision can be effective. Second factor is orientation barrier. Means there is a proper orientation of reactant molecules required at the time of collision, which If not there, then will form an effective collagen. अगर कोलेजन के टाइम पे प्रॉपर ओरिएंटेशन रिएक्टेंट की नहीं है तो उसको हम इनइफेक्टिव कोलेजन बोलते हैं. Means we can say that for a collagen to be effective, both the barrier means energy barrier and orientation barriers should be simultaneously overcome. So according to threshold energy also says that it is the minimum energy required by the reactant in order to undergo the effective collagen, and after collagen it is changes into a product. So this minimum energy which are required to collide the reactant molecule, this is called as threshold energy. Now the next is effect of temperature on the rate of reaction. How the temperature depend on the rate of reaction. We have already discussed the temperature coefficient. Suppose here we plot the graph of friction of molecules versus kinetic energy. Means if the temperature increases, kinetic energy increases and collagen takes place very fast. So this graph shows that suppose at time T degree Celsius, the friction of molecules reacting at time T is this. This dark area shows the friction of molecules reacting at time T. But at time T plus 10 degree Celsius, means if the temperature is increased by temperature is increased by 10 degree Celsius, then the rate of reaction become double. So this become here, means this area shows the friction of addition molecules when react at temperature T plus 10 degree Celsius. So T degree Celsius and T plus 10 degree, these are the temperatures. It means this is the activation energy required by the molecules, and this is the area which shows the friction of additional molecule, and this area shows the friction of molecules reacting at time T. At temperature T. This is the temperature, not time. So we can say that as the temperature is increased by 10 degree Celsius, the rate of reaction become double of its initial value. This is because the friction of molecules that occupying the activation energy or higher, that becomes double of its initial value. So the temperature coefficient is equal to rate constant at temperature rises 10 degree Celsius divided by rate constant at time at temperature T. Now, what do you mean by activation energy? Means activation energy means the energy over or above the average energy of reactants that is required to bring about a reaction. Means when the reactant changes into activated complex, then a minimum energy is required. This is called as activation energy. And after the energy absorbed, it is changes into product. So we can see that EA is equal to threshold energy minus average energy possessed by the reacting molecules. Means the amount of energy required to form a activated complex. This is called as activation energy, and it is the difference between threshold energy and the average energy shows by the reacting molecules. So for a fast reaction, activation energy are very low, and for slow reaction, activation energy is very high. So activation energy is equal to ET minus ER. ER is the average energy of reactant. If the value of activation energy is high, then the reaction will be slow and vice versa. It depends on two factors: kinetic stability of fuels, and second is graph, which depends on exothermic process and endothermic process. So first, the kinetic stability of fuels. The combustion of fuel is very highly exothermic reaction. Still the fuel do not start burning on their own, even if it kept in a air or oxygen for a long time. This is because the activation energy for the combustion of fuel is very high. Second is graph that showing the energy change along with the progress of reaction. Means reaction coordinate. First graph is exothermic process, second for endothermic process. So first is exothermic process. In exothermic process, heat is released. It means delta H is negative. So we plot the graph of this. This is reaction coordinate. This is here we take the energy. Reaction coordinate means the progress of reaction. First of all, we take here the energy of reactant, the energy of product, and energy of transition state. Energy of threshold energy. Threshold energy. So when the reactant changes into the activated complex, this is activated complex. Activated complex means the arrangement of atoms corresponding to the energy maxima, means threshold energy during the reaction. This is called as activated complex or transition state. In this activated complex, it has partial reactant character and partial product character. So this activated complex, after that it changes into product. So the potential energy of this activated complex is maximum. And in this activated complex, the bonds are breaks and new bonds are formed, which change into the product. So when the reactant molecules collide each other, and it will form a activated complex, then after that it is converted into product. So here this is the activated energy of forward reaction, this one from here, and this is the activation energy of backward reaction. And here this is total reactant change into product, that this is the enthalpy change for our reaction, means delta H is equal to average energy of product minus average energy of reactant. So Same in this case, this is endothermic reaction. Here the reactant molecule first collide each other and to form a activated complex, and after that it changes into product. But in exothermic reaction, reactant forward reaction की जो activation energy है that is very less. But in case of endothermic reaction, energy is absorbed, means reactant absorb the energy, and after that it must collide each other, this effective collision, and after that it will form an activated complex or transition state. In transition state, bonds are breaking and new bonds are formed simultaneously, and it changes into the product. So here the activation energy is more in forward reaction and less in backward reaction, and delta H value is small change, means enthalpy change for a reaction is very small. So delta H is equal to activation energy of forward minus activation energy of backward. So here delta H is equal to positive. So we can see that in case of exothermic process, activation energy required that is a higher. So the reaction is slow. But in case of endothermic reaction, here heat is absorbed, so the reaction is very fast and less activation energy is required as compared to this. So for fast reaction, activation energy are low. For slow reaction, activation energy are high. So these are the concept of activation energy. Thank you, students.